Okay. All right, awesome. Hey guys, I'm Jen Feichter.
Hey guys, Adam here.
Welcome to week 10 of the 90-day game plan. Can you believe it's already week 10? We have about 4 weeks left, and think about why you started this. What were your goals 2 months ago? What did you write down that you wanted to happen at the end of 90 days? Whatever it was, make it happen. Get to work. Put Post-it notes around your house. You guys can do this. So let's crush our goals. We have a little less than a month left. So we're going to start with some recognition. We'll start with Lauren's team. We have Rich Maxwell, who hit the 5-cycle bonus. Way to go. Aaron Hairston, 1-star Golden Circle. Lauren said he worked so hard for it this weekend and just saw it after Super Saturday and made it happen. Way to go. Roseanne Glamo, woohoo! She hit consultant. She's at my house right now. We have Mary and Matt Liebrock, who hit crystal consultant. They got into massive action after going to Jess Rigner's Super Saturday a couple weeks ago and hit crystal consultant. We have, I'm sorry, I'm going to botch some of these names. Renelli Ryan, who hit consultant and hopped into massive action after she went to a Super Saturday this past weekend and also bought her ICU ticket already. That's awesome. Top and rollers, Chris Marshall, Jamie Malik, Laura Moss, and Megan Sweeney. And then we have some top cyclers for the week. Kisa Maxwell, Laura Laurie, we have Rachel Meir, Megan Sweeney, and Kristen Burgesses. And then Alyssa Greba had her highest cycle week she's had yet. Now on to Team Jessica. We have Mike Chupe. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. He nailed executive. Another crystal executive is Kelly Small. Katie Gibson created her 3rd crystal exec and had a major cycle week. Way to go, guys. That's a lot of execs. That's amazing. Janelle Graham hosted her Wellness Wednesday night and had one of her new enrollments who owns a salt cave. And then Marilyn Rudolph added her 2nd person to become a consultant. Aaron and Warren Parker were named the Millionaire in Action number 33 for September. Way to go. Keep in action. And then Evie Harrison facilitated a killer vision casting call with a
4,000 night drive, Limerick. Yes.
So, guys, just make sure your lines are muted. So that's awesome. And way to go for everybody that came out to the Super Saturdays. Great job.
All right, let's move on. On to Team Betsy. Some of her enrollers last week were Haley Lair, Sandy Gilman, Grant Gilman, Shelby Bedingfield, Dylan Hansen, Noel Kowaki, and Chris Petrosky enrolled 5 people last week. Nice job, Chris. And Sherry Petrowski, his team has been rocking with getting people into the IsaBody Challenge, Healthy Mind and Body, which we all know is huge, huge, huge for retention. So good job, guys. Keep that going. Liz Morris promoted to consultant, and Noelle also had another tasting party. Noelle is in massive action, rocking into the leadership pools as a director. Also, let me go on to Team Janny. Welcome back, Chris and Heidi West from President's Quest, rocking and rolling with massive team momentum. Sarah Manelik, Dr. Mandy Vasilou, Dr. Mike and Jeannie Nader, and Doctors Bo and Jamie Mullen all had 2 enrollments each last week. Good job. Tracy Pletcher with 1 new enrollment, and she earned the free vitamins this week. Good job, Tracy. And Lucy Bergman had 3 enrollments, created 2 consultants, and 1 manager. Good job, guys. And personally, today was the first day I had the chocolate mint. If you haven't tried it, absolutely incredible. The best tasting shake I've ever had. And obviously, we saw all the volume that came through because of that shake. So good job, guys, getting the word out there. Jess, back over to you.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you so much. I have the privilege of introducing someone who basically is one of the people I admire most in Isagenix, one of my very favorite trainers to hear at any event. And I'll tell you what, this guy can rock the stage and he makes this seem so possible. You probably, if you're in this business for any length of time, listen to his podcast of how to manage the price. Guys, can you mute? I think there's some people on that are not muted. So I want to get a really clear line. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So without further ado, guys, let me introduce Chris Harder. So here's what I want to tell you about Chris Harder. After 11 years as a major executive and a partner in the bank industry, Chris experienced a ton of career success. He severely lacked fulfillment, though, and he was completely burnt out. So he decided that he was going to retire from his banking career to pursue an entrepreneurial endeavor with his wife, Lori Harder. And really, we were going to work on her brand, LoriHarder.com, and grow their Isagenix network marketing business. He now handles most of the affairs. He does business coaching for 2 multi-million-dollar brands. And he has found exactly the happiness he was seeking in his career. He's currently launching his new brand and podcast, For the Love of Money, aimed at making entrepreneurs unapologetic about their pursuit of wealth by interviewing business moguls and celebrities. He's exposing their exciting stories of contribution and philanthropy and proving that money is a much needed tool in a world with many needs. Chris also sat on the field advisory board for Isagenix for 2 years, acting as a liaison between Isagenix corporate and the field. And so with that, I would love to introduce Chris Harder. Chris, are you on the line?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Hey, Chris. Yeah, of course.
How have you been?
Amazing. So excited for this. Thank you so much.
No, my privilege.
Awesome. So with that, I know you have some things that you wanted to share, and knowing you, I know people are going to want to grab pens, grab a notebook, and get ready.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for such a kind introduction. And when you guys reached out and you asked me to say a couple of things, I said, what do you want me to speak on? And I think it was Lauren this morning had said anything that has to do with the 90-day game plan and the almost 26 days that are left with it. So I started thinking, I just did a Zoom call with my team. I've got a separate group for my 90-day game plan. All the people who opted in and said, yes, I promise to run extra hard for 90 days. And on that call, we talked about the pace that they were keeping and how awesome it was, and how, half the people that started it, they're no longer finishing it necessarily. And we were discussing some of the things that kept the pace going, what kept them in it this long, what's going to keep them in it for the next 26 days. And so I started jotting down some notes as to what the most important things are when it comes to your team's pace. And the first and foremost thing that was one of the biggest lessons for me, and this came quite a while ago, when it comes to your team's pace, whether it's good or whether it's bad, it has everything to do with you. It all comes back on you. And I'll give you a real personal story. About 4 years ago, I remember complaining to Lori about the pace of our team. It just totally plateaued. And I was saying, this person's not doing this like they said, and that person's, not engaged like they said, and this person did this, and this person said that. And she stopped me and she goes, all I hear about is everything that everybody else is not doing or doing wrong. She goes, but are you doing everything that you're asking them to do? And that was a real wake-up call for me, because the answer was no. I mean, I was telling them all the right things to do. I was cheering them on to do all the right things to do. I was expecting them to do all these things. But quite honestly, I was maybe doing 50% of them. And I was kind of doing at a 50% effort level. So the fact that our team had plateaued, it wasn't what everybody else was doing or not doing. It had everything to do with me and the pace that I was leading at and the pace that I was setting an example. And every great leader that I've talked to, they say the exact same thing. If you like the pace on your team, congrats, you had something to do with that. But if you don't like the pace that your team's running right now, especially if it's a 90-day game plan, then you've got to look in the mirror. You can't look at anyone else. You've got to look in the mirror and say, what could I be doing differently to set my pace, a pace that they will see and feel, a pace that's tangible? And that wake-up call changed the course of our business. I can't tell you how many rank advancements and fun things that we've been able to do ever since that moment, because every time that we would stall, every time that we would plateau, I would take a look at myself first instead of everybody else first. And it's a hard thing to do, guys. It really is. It's so hard to be objective and to look at yourself and say, what could I be doing better? What could I be doing faster? What could I be doing bigger? But it's also the make or break moment in your business is if you're going to look at you or if you're going to look at everybody else, because you are the only one that can change this pace for everybody else. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it, honest to God, is you. You know, I was on a call last night with a bunch of executives and Kathy Coover was on, and she was saying the same thing. If you don't like the pace of your team, it happens to fall on you. Jay Bennett said the same thing. If you don't like the pace of your team, it happens to fall on you. The call that I was just on, not only was I talking about that, but the top leaders in my 90-day game plan were saying the exact same thing. Some of them loved the pace of their team, and they knew that they had a hand in that. Congrats. And some of them were not happy with the pace of their team, and they also knew that they had a hand in that, and they were volunteering that, which is really cool to see that start to trickle down into their DNA. So every single leader out there that's doing a good job, from Kathy Coover down, they acknowledge that the pace of their team is absolutely the pace of their efforts. And that really comes to shine when it comes to a 90-day game plan. Because I've had a lot of 90-day game plans now. Some of them I look back and I'm like, that thing sucked. And you know what really sucked about it? Me. I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just going through the motions. This 90-day game plan, one where I'll be very transparent with you. I'm like, oh, great, another 90-day game plan. You know, we've already done this like 8 times. At first, that was my attitude, but then I said, I'm going to make this the best, fastest, baddest 90-day game plan that I can, and I committed to doing a few things extra. And now, listen, I know there's only 26 days left, but that's 1/3 of your 90-day game plan. Did you know that most people's progress, most people's rank advancements, most people's production actually only happens in 1/3 of the 90-day game plan? For a lot of people, it's the first third, some it's the second third, and for a lot of people, it's that last third that matters the most. And so you guys have 1/3 of your 90-day game plan left. You've got 26 days left. You can literally make or break your 90-day game plan in this 26 days if you choose to take ownership of it. I'm going to give you some really specific things that I did with my team and that I'm going to do for the next 26 days to make sure that we finish with the best 90-day game plan that we ever had, because this is the best start to a 90-day game plan that we've ever had. So it'd be a shame to not finish with that momentum that we've built up to this point. And before I go into these, I want to be crystal clear. I know the type of talk that we have in our head, like, oh, 26 days left, there's no way I could get momentum going. Oh, if I start doing this now, everyone's going to think I'm a fake because I wasn't doing it before. Oh, if all of a sudden I come out with all these things that they're going to think I'm crazy, or what if they don't like them, or what if they don't follow through? We all have that self-chatter.
But
if you set that aside and know that we all have that, then doing these things at a frantic pace for the next 26 days,
it's going to be.
I mean, I could darn
near
near
go out. Probably go out.
That's how important it is. So before I go through these next 26 things, could I just ask that everybody double check? We've got some background noise. I just want to make sure it's a clear line for all of you. We've got somebody on their phone. It doesn't show the number, but if you're on a cell phone, double check your mute. Make sure it's muted. Got a dog in the background. I just want to make sure everybody gets a good, clear line. That's all. A 561 area code. If you're a 561 area code, go ahead and mute your line. All right. Let's keep going here. All right, so these are what we've done, and these are what we're going to do in order to make sure everybody has a ridiculous 90-day game plan for the next 26 days. The first one is I just hung up of a Zoom call reviewing everybody's goals who is still 2 feet in on my 90-day game plan. Now, it took a while. It was like a 90-minute call, but I went person by person by person saying, what are your goals that you want to make sure you end this thing with? And then I divided it by 26 days or by 3.5 weeks to see what they had to do each day or each week to get there. Now, this is something I actually did every 30 days during this 90-day game plan. I collected all of their goals right before the game plan started. At day 30, I did this review with everybody who was still in it. And then today, which is, you know, about 30 days left, 26 days left, I did the review with them again. So every 30 days, I'm saying, look, I wrote your goals down. I know these meant something to you. If you said you wanted to sign up 20 people, and you've signed up 14 so far, you've got 6 to go over 3 weeks. That's 2 per week. Do you commit to making that happen? What are you going to do to make that happen? And what can I help you with to make that happen? Person by person by person. Now, does that sound labor intensive? Yeah. But do you get out of it what you put into it? Absolutely, guys. That's the only way this world works, is that you get out of it what you put into it. Now, I want to stop all of you who are getting the self-chatter, who are saying, well, I don't have my team's goals. It's too late. It's not too late. If you grabbed your phone and you texted every single main leader that you are locking arms with on your team that is still working on this 90-day game plan, and you said, I apologize, I never asked for your goals, but I want to make this the most effective 26 days left, and I want to move your business between now and then, what would make you proud to accomplish 26 days from now? And let's talk about how we can get you there. If you just asked for their goals, whether it's 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, doesn't matter. A night of texting will get you everybody's goals. You record them on a whiteboard, or you record them on a Excel sheet, whatever you prefer, and you work with them day in and day out, week in and week out, in order to make sure that they hit those goals over the next 26 days. So whether you collected them at the beginning or whether you have to go collect them tonight, doesn't matter. What matters is that you collect them and you tell them that your goal is XYZ. We're in this together. You guys, that goes so far. Even outside of a 90-day game plan, you have to truly understand that if you know who your key business builders are, and if you know what their tangible goals are, and you can repeat it back to them every once in a while without them even having to bring it up, that makes them run through a wall. Approximately every 14 days, I'll pull out my spreadsheet full of my main business goals, my main business leaders' goals, and I'll say, hey, how's it going? I know that last time we talked, you're really working on 2-star. I saw you hit 15 cycles last week. You're getting there. Again, me being able to regurgitate to them what their goals are goes so far, but you only know if you ask. And that really sets the pace, whether it's for the 90-day game plan or whether that is for your whole Isagenix business in general. The second thing is that you need to show that you are working as hard as they are. Now, this is funny sometimes. You guys might be working your tails off, but if your team can't see, feel, and touch that, then it's almost good for nothing. They need to see, feel, and touch that you are getting dirty and sweaty right alongside of them. So how do you do that? Well, one of the most clever ways to do that is every time that Lori and I sign somebody up, every time that we hit a rank advancement, every time we do anything that shows up on Isopulse, I'll make sure to upload that in a group using a screenshot along with screenshotting all of their accomplishments. And that's something I'm going to talk about in a little bit, is how I screenshot their accomplishments all the time. But they can see, congratulations, Mara, you have 2 signups for double PIBs. Congratulations, David, your first signup ever. And then it'll say, if you guys look at your Isopulse, it'll say, congrats, you've earned $50 in double PIBs so far. By me posting that screenshot congratulating the other people, they can also see that I am in double PIBs. And so they can see and feel and touch that I'm doing the same things I asked them to do. That's one way. Another way is making sure you're having events. Whether it's an online launch party, whether it's a in-person launch party, you need to take pictures of that thing. You need to upload it in your business group. You need to be like, I'm so proud of all these people that showed up to my launch party tonight. Who else is having a launch party this week? They need to see that you're doing what you're asking them to do. Another great example would be showing up to the main events. If they don't see you there, then they're not going to go themselves. But when they see you there, even if they didn't go, if you're posting selfies from the event, if you're posting updates from the event, they're going to get to the next event because they're going to say, boy, that's amazing. If Lauren is already here or if Jessica's already here and they're still going to the events, I really need to get to the events because I'm newer and greener than they are. These things must be good. And so what does that have to do with the 26 days remaining in the 90-day game plan? Make sure that every day you are showing them tangibly what you did. And that includes sharing your wall-kicking moments. If you've got a business group, a closed business group, post in there. Hey, I struck out 3 times today. I had 3 sign-up calls. 2 of them didn't show, and the other one told me that they have no interest whatsoever. That is actually a win, to post that you struck out a few times. And then the opposite of that, to post once in a while when you do hit a home run. your team needs to see that you are taking those swings. That's the most important part. Your team needs to see that you're doing the do. So the next thing that brings me to is, I think the magic of our 90-day game plan this time around was that I did this one thing very different than anything else I did. And that was, I committed to doing a Facebook Live in my business group every single day, 90 out of 90 days. Now, today is day 57. Do I have day 67? Day 60. Sorry, my math is off here. Day 63, right? Day 64, actually. So that means that, because I have not missed a day, so that means that this will be, when I hang up with you guys, the 64th Facebook Live in a row that I have done to my group. And guess what I do in that group? I tell them, here's what I did today. I struck out. Here's what I did today. I got a sign up. Here's what we did today. Lori got a sign up. Here's what we did today. We created a consultant. And then I ask them, share what's working for you guys in the past couple of days. Share your wall kicking moments and let's solve them as a group in the past couple of days. And then I give them props. I'll look at my ISOPulse and I'll say, God, I saw that Lacey got 4 signups in the last 2 days. Lacey, you're killing it. I'm so proud of you. I saw that Barbara got her first sign up ever today. Way to go. So it's a combination of me talking about what we did today, what was our skin in the game today, along with having an open forum for them to talk about either what worked or what tripped them up so that we can solve it as a group, and giving recognition. Listen, it takes maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max. Some of them are even just 10 minutes. But the fact that I have not missed a single Facebook Live in that 90-day game plan group is what's kept them going. I mean, they've literally told me time and time again. They're saying the consistency of you never missing a day has made sure that I did something for my Isagenix business every single day. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's one thing for you to do the work. It's another thing for you to make sure your team can see and feel and touch you doing the work. Because if they can't see and feel and touch you doing the work, they're not going to do it either. But when they can, that is setting the pace. And setting the pace is everything. So commit to, I dare you to commit to doing a Facebook Live in your business group for the next 26 days. And don't miss a day. If you commit, you need to put it on your calendar so you don't forget. I've actually done them, I kid you not, at just one of them when I was traveling last week, at 11:58 p.m. at night to make sure I got it in that day. Not many people jumped on, but the point is I proved to them that every single day I kept my word and I did my Facebook Live, and every single day I was able to talk about what type of Isagenix effort I had in terms of skin in the game that day. And that has gone so far, you guys. Nobody wants to feel like they're building this by themselves in a family room or building this by themselves on an island. And by you doing this, that makes them realize that somebody else is out there running alongside of them. And that is everything. The other thing that I'll challenge you to do is to do screenshots of your ISOPulse multiple times a day if you have to. I seem to average 2, sometimes 3, and post them in your group as recognition. So it's really easy. Pull up my ISOPulse like this if you guys can see it. I'm sure most of you have been on it before. First of all, it tells you what's going on. You click on the other tab and it tells you everybody who's doing something. I simply do a screenshot all the way down to the last time I did one. I post those in my Facebook group and I tag the people on there. So when I do this later tonight, I'll tag Emily. And I'll be like, Emily, you got your second sign up already today. That's incredible. I'll tag Lindsay. I'll say, Lindsay, this is your first member ever. Incredible. I'll tag Tara. And I'll say, Tara, this is your first member ever. Incredible. Now, there's a couple things that's really cool about that. Number one, people will run through a wall for recognition. I mean, they will repeat that which gets recognized every single time. People, quite honestly, in the beginning, before the paychecks show up, that recognition is the only thing that keeps them going. It's the only type of compensation they're getting. And then once they get used to the paychecks, guess what? Recognition sometimes is the only thing that keeps them going. We're living in a world where people are starving for recognition. They're not getting it at home. They're not getting it at work anymore. You need to be the person that gives it to them. And when you do, they will keep running through a wall for you every single time. So I challenge you guys. There's 26 days left. It's pretty easy. It takes a couple minutes to screenshot your ISOPulse and tag those people in your business group and give them some love every single day, day in and day out, and they will start repeating those actions for you, and that will set the pace for your team. Recognition, in my opinion, if there's one thing you guys did right in this entire business, if everything else you fumbled, the one thing to get right is constant and massive recognition. It goes all the way. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is this. Make sure that you tell everybody that there's going to be a recap to celebrate how far they've come tangibly. Do it via Zoom, do it in person. If everyone lives local to you, it's up to you. At the end of this 90-day game plan. Because when people know there's a tangible deadline to say, Lauren, I'm so proud of you. You said you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and you did X, you did Y, and you almost did Z. I mean, did you go this far in 90 days? When they know there's that deadline, again, that makes them take action because now the box for them to work in is defined. When the box is not defined and there's no end in sight, then people don't take action. They tend to put it off. It's human nature. But when the box is here and they know there's an end and the end's going to be talked about and the end's going to be celebrated, and the end is going to be public, then they will take action. And the action that they can take over the next 26 days could be the difference between them limping into the holidays or them having momentum into the holidays. So let me wrap it up with this. You guys might feel like, oh, the first 30 days is where you set the momentum and I missed it. Or you might feel like, hey, we got a great start to this 90-day game plan, but my 90-day game plan is pretty much dead right now. There's no reviving it. Or you might feel like if I all of a sudden start talking about a 90-day game plan 64 days in, people are going to think I'm crazy or I'm a hypocrite. Who cares, guys? That's that self-talk. Because here's the facts. The facts are if you want your team to have momentum into the holidays, then the next 26 days is where you build it. If you want your team to limp into the holidays and you wake up January 1st saying, what happened to my team? This happens every time this year. Then don't do it. Then don't do the next 26 days. But if you do everything I talked about, which is really relatively easy stuff, right? I mean, anybody can do this stuff. It doesn't take any massive skill sets to screenshot, to tag people. If you promise to do these things for the next 26 days, I swear to you, you are not even going to recognize what your team looks like at the end of this 90-day game plan. And I hope that you all follow through with that.
Wow, Chris, amazing. I knew it was going to be good. You exceeded my expectations, so thank you so much. Really good, concrete. Thank you. You're so right.
No problem.
Absolutely right. Thank you so much for blessing us with this, Chris. I really appreciate it.
It's seriously my pleasure. I love talking about this stuff, so.
Right. There's no excuse. The next 26 days are all green lights, full speed ahead. Like never before, hit the gas. I love it. Guys, thank you so much. I know everybody got a lot out of Chris's share. I think now we're going to go to Betsy Frame. I think it's going to introduce our product speaker. Betsy, are you there? Actually, you know what? I'll just introduce Sandy. Are you doing a segment? Okay, awesome. Why don't we have you take over then? Thank you so much, Chris.
Sandy, you're going to need to unmute, babe.
Yep, there I am.
Yeah, and hey, I just want to say a quick thing. Sandy is a brand new Crystal executive. She walked into Celebration as a Crystal executive, and she's recently created a Crystal director, and she's got a lot of momentum going in her group. So I'm really excited for her to share on Belief tonight. Thanks, Sandy.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for the opportunity to do this. Wow, I am still just in awe of Chris's talk. That was just amazing. All the things that he shared. And so I'm going to be talking about Belief tonight, and it's just so funny how crazy that some of the things that I was going to talk about are just really the things that he talked about too. And I loved what he said about what do you do when you hit those wall-kicking moments? I love that. And so I want to talk about belief in self tonight. And we've talked about the 4 different areas of belief. But I really want to focus on the belief in self because this network marketing business model, which is amazing, it just requires an incredible amount of belief in self. And that belief in self is really what's going to determine whether you sink or swim. And what I want to do is I want to use 2 analogies tonight. And I'm going to be talking about belief in self in regards to those who you are running with so team members. And I'm going to talk also about, quickly, about belief in self in regards to those who you're serving. And I'd love to think of belief in self with those who are running like a horse race. And I want everybody to just go like this with your hands. I want you to put them on the sides of your face, and I want you to imagine that you're in a race. And I want you to think about when those horses are in that race, where are they looking? They're not looking to the sides. They're looking straight ahead at the goal. And they can feel, the earth is pounding beside them. Feel that momentum. They can, it's keeping them going. It's spurring them on. And so what I want to just really encourage everybody tonight in this area is that when you are running with others, I want you to use that momentum that we're all creating to spur you on. And what I really want to encourage you not to do is don't remove those blinders. Don't look side to side. When you look side to side, it trips you up, and it takes your eyes off the goal. We need to keep our eyes on the goal. We want to run with those people. But when we start looking over and we start thinking, oh no, that person's a couple steps ahead of me. Oh no, what am I doing wrong? We don't want to do that. We're running together. I think of, the people that we're running with. We're running, I'm running with Betsy. I'm running with Jessica. I'm running with Jenny. I'm running with Susan Sly. We're all doing the same things. We're all running together. Don't let yourself get tripped up by the speed of those that you're running, because we all have the same common goal. And let that momentum fuel your belief. Let that momentum just move you forward. So I just really want to do that. The other thing that I want to do in regards to belief in self when we're talking about team is, I know that it's so easy, just like Chris was talking about, that chatter in our heads, that chatter that might say this or that. And I really want everybody tonight, and I'm doing the same thing, I want us to make a pledge to ourselves that we are going to speak words of life into ourselves. How many of us would turn to the person next to us if they were maybe lagging a little bit behind? How many of us would say, oh, you're so stupid. How could you do that? We would never say that to anybody else. Why do we say it to ourselves? Why do we tell ourselves that we can't do it? So I just encourage everybody to pledge to themselves that they will speak as kindly to themselves as they would to the person that they are running with. And then in regards to those who we're serving with self-belief, I'm going to be posting in the Fast Track group a podcast by Jim Rohn. And that's R-O-H-N. And I just listened to his podcast the other day, and I loved it. And one of my favorite parts of his podcast was he was talking about the parable of the sower. And the parable of the sower comes from the Bible, and it talks about a man who has seed, and he's throwing the seed out, and how sometimes we throw the seed out, and sometimes it takes root and it grows. But there are times, many more times, that we'll throw the seed out and it gets snatched up by the birds. And I loved what he said about that. Is he said, don't chase the birds. Don't start to analyze everything that happens, because you're going to waste your energy again. Just like when you're running with others and you waste your energy by looking side to side, we don't want to waste our energy chasing the birds and trying to think of what we did that was wrong, or it's just going to happen. He says, you don't want to sign up for that class. So don't overanalyze it. Just, let the birds go away. That's going to happen. And just keep sowing. I love that he said that. Just keep sowing. Some of the seeds are going to get snatched up by the birds. We don't like it when it happens, but it's going to happen. Some of the seeds are going to actually take root a little bit, and then the sun's going to scorch them. Don't overanalyze that. Just keep sowing. But I love that. And so I just really want to encourage everybody with those two analogies, the one that has to do with running with others, and to keep your eyes on the goal, to continue to run with others. Don't compare yourself to others. Everybody acquires the same set of skills. Some just do it faster than others, and it's okay. It's not a race. We're not racing and trying to beat another person. We're just racing with ourselves and trying to get there ourselves. And then in terms of with those that you are serving, those that you're sharing with, you just keep sowing. You just keep sowing, just keep sowing, just keep sowing. And don't chase the birds, because you're going to get sucked in and it's just not worth it. So just keep sowing. You guys, you can do this. And my very favorite little poster that I have, I love it. It's a picture of a gal running, and it says, the voice in your head that says you can't do this is a liar. So don't listen to that voice. Just keep running, just keep sowing. So that's what I have for tonight. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay, Jess, are we moving into product?
We are, Betsy. I think Heidi West is going to introduce our product highlight for tonight. Heidi?
Yeah, hey guys. Thanks, Jess. Hey, everybody. I'm going to introduce one of my executives, Dr. Mandy Vassallo. Mandy started Isagenix just in September of 2015. She is a one-star Crystal executive. Absolutely fabulous person. Her and her husband, Dr. Sam Vassallo, are chiropractors in upstate New York in a little town called Watertown, and they are just blowing it up there. We are so proud of them. Mandy went to New York Chiropractic College. She's a diplomat in pregnancy and pediatric chiropractics. She's been married to Sam since 2002. They have two beautiful children, a boy and a girl. Mandy is just right in the middle of writing a new book, and it's being edited as we speak. She loves fitness, cooking, and writing. So Mandy, are you there?
I am. Thank you so much for that introduction, Heidi. I appreciate it. So tonight, I'm super excited to talk about one of my favorite products that Isagenix makes, called Ionic Supreme. Now, has anyone on the line tonight ever been overwhelmed by stress? Yeah, all of us probably, right? Unless you're living in a bubble somewhere, I think we've all been overcome with it. So what happens to your body when you have stress? Well, there's many emotional components, but also many physical components, like sleep issues and visceral fat production, which is the gross fat that forms between your organs and in your abdomen. Nobody likes that. So according to, it's called the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, they say that stress-related ailments contribute to 75% of doctor visits in North America. And I believe it. It's just crazy. So, and when people are stressed out, what do? They might eat unhealthy foods. They might drink alcohol, take some drugs. They might binge watch reality TV. I don't know, just unhealthy things. And unfortunately, when that happens, it becomes kind of a pattern of chronic unhealthy lifestyle. So that's the beauty of Ionic Supreme. And I'm not going to lie, the first day I tried it, I wasn't a fan of the flavor. But my friend Heidi, she said, give it a few days. When your body becomes more alkaline, it will taste better. And she was 100% right. It tastes phenomenal now. I really enjoy it. So, but the reason that it works is because it helps us adapt. Because the plants that are in this, they're called adaptogens, like ashwagandha, rhodiola, wolfberry, to name a few. And the reason they work so well is because they produce substances originally intended to help them adapt to stress. You know, there's these little plants on the side of a mountain, and there's wind and rain and snow, and they can still thrive. And that's the reason why many, many years ago, the Soviet Union were the first to study these plants, and they were hoping that it would help increase strength, energy, and mental stamina for their soldiers and athletes. And with more research, they found that adaptogens do help by normalizing the body's functions under stress. And John Anderson, our master formulator, he took over a decade researching all of these ingredients to come up with what Ionix is today. And taken daily, it can help improve your mental clarity, physical performance, and it reduces fatigue. Ionix also has antioxidants, which help neutralize the effects of free radicals. There's alfalfa, which gives Ionix the mineral source. It's great to take in the morning. Some people like it as a warm tea. Some people like it cool. Also, I don't know if anyone's listened to any thing that Dr. Paul Beyondich has done, but he's a chiropractor and he's brilliant. And he works with elite athletes. And one of his favorite protocols is to have a scoop of Ionix in his post-workout shake. And he recommends all his athletes do that too. So that, I think it really helps improve with your recovery. That's a great way to take it. Many people really enjoy a scoop of Ionix right before bed, right before your head hits the pillow. You take this, and it really helps improve your sleep. And I've done some research with weight loss plateaus, and if you take 1 scoop of Ionix in the morning on an empty stomach, and then another scoop in the late morning in the empty stomach, that's going to help with weight loss plateaus. And one other product that we have that has these adaptogens is the Tea Plus Chai, which I love. It's a spice black tea. It doesn't have caffeine, but it has adaptogens. It's great midday, or it's great in the evening to help with focus and concentration. And it also helps with the weight loss plateaus if you have 1 or 2 cups in the evening before bed. So those are the 2 things that I was going to talk about tonight with adaptogens. So that's it for that.
Mandy, thank you so much. That was terrific. Now, without further ado, I'm going to turn us over to Betsy Frame, who's going to bring us home with some of her incredible wisdom. I know I talked to her a little bit earlier, and I know she has some really great things to share. So Betsy, thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
Thanks
hey,
a lot, Mandy.
Everybody. Week 10, here we go. We're at it again. I'm going to keep it really simple. I get super passionate and excited when I get to train, and I'm a rabbit trail girl. I'm just sorry. But, you know, I've got some really good notes. I'm going to stay on track. There's just a couple of things that I really want to hone in on tonight. And that is, you know, we're always redoing our contact list, right? So I'm going to give you a call that I want you to listen to. And I was talking to Jess about this. It's old, you know, I don't know how many years old it is. It's Kathy Savage, and she trained on it at an ICU in 2013. But what I want to say about that is it's so important to understand that this whole business is about duplication. So there's not a new path, you know, the newest, latest, greatest way to do this or that. It's the same path, and it's what Isagenix teaches us. It's using the tools. Don't be a tool. Use the tools. You know, we threw this fast track together. We've got 4 leaders. It doesn't mean we know that much more. You know, we've just been at it longer. So I was a disaster at everything, verbiage, everything. But now I'm a master. And here's why. Because I've listened to podcast over podcast over podcast. So I became like the 5 people I surround myself by. Who are those people? Do you know who my best friend is in this business? Probably Susan Sly. But she doesn't know that. And I've told you this over before. Lynn Hagedorn. You know, these people resonate with me. I have learned from them. You resonate with Chris Harder, start following him. Okay? You resonate with Tandy Kirkpatrick, start following her. You resonate with Jen Mitchell, start doing what she's doing. Okay? So find the leaders that are doing something. And usually it's, you know, people building businesses. You know, these are the people on the podcast. So track them, you know, Google them, Google a specific subject and a call, and listen to a podcast every day. But that's as hard as this gets. There's 2 things you do in this business. You enroll and you rank advanced people. That's it. All these other, that's the middle of the circle. That's called income producing activities, right? Everything else is on the outside of that circle. And it's all important. Recognition is huge, right? We know that. Chris told us that again tonight. But enrolling and rank advancing your people, that's as hard as this gets. And you're like, well, I'm not really good at talking to people. You know, I had 1 tasting, I had 20 people and 3 enrolled. It was really good, but no one else has enrolled since. Well, you got to keep having tastings. You have to keep moving your list and working on your list. So Kathy Savage, I'm going to post it in the fast track, and it's a short call, but it's gold, and it's different than other contact list type verbiage that I've heard before. So you're going to love it. 16 minutes. It's short. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is verbiage. And I was talking about, I grabbed another call. I don't know how old it is. It's Lynn Hagedorn. She has so many brilliant calls. I send every new builder, like her original 5 that she did with Isagenix the first year she built. She made $1 million her first year. You know that. Because she had already worked on a lot of other personal growth skills through other network marketing companies. Okay, so she came into this because the compensation plan, she just took off running. So she was a master at that. But until you develop that verbiage and that confidence, and that's what she says in this call, she says you have to have posture. Now, how are you going to get posture if you don't have any confidence in this? Well, you get on a 3-way call with someone that does have posture, that does have a story to tell, or whatever, whether it's a weight loss journey and a product call, whether it's somebody that says, I want to be a massive builder, I need to make $1,000 a week. Can you help me do that? Yes, I can. Let me get you on a call with someone who's doing that. So maybe you're making $54 once a month right now. That's okay. Get them on a call with somebody who's making $1,000 a week. You've got it in your team. It's all around us. So use the people, know who they are, and use those people, and then you listen. Google Susan Sly 3-way etiquette call, take notes, learn how to do a 3-way call. You introduce, you stop, and you don't talk anymore. You listen. That's how I learned verbiage. That's how we all learn it, is we listen. And then you get to be on a 3-way call, or the one maybe doing the 3-way call, leading the 3-way call. Someone asked you to be the leader on the call. So that Lynn Hagedorn call is very short. She teaches such simple verbiage. And I want you to hear that, because we go to work to overcomplicate everything. We talk way too much about, all these things we need to do when people are only wanting to hear, how much does it cost? Does it work? Where do I get it? We've talked about that before, but she's like, she creates inspiration, in her voice. She creates hope and promise and all that. And until you learn how to do that, get on a call with somebody that does that really well on your team. And that's called painting the vision. There's people on your team that do that. Don't beat yourself up that you don't know all this stuff yet. Don't beat yourself up. We're all on a road. Some people are further down the road, right? But we all started walking on the same path. I like to call it the yellow brick road, actually. But, we're just all in this together, but use language that people agree with. That's talk in a third person. Lynn's whole call is about, this is exactly what her call is about, is what to say to someone like tonight on the phone. If you did a cold call to a friend, and you just talk to them for the very first time about Isagenix, you're like, well, I don't even know what to say to them. This call is for you. Okay. So just a couple of little quick training calls. And lastly, the other thing I want you to remember is, let's see, if you're trying to enroll and rank advance someone to consultant or manager, director, etc., and let's say you're at a consultant level, or maybe you're at manager and you're somebody's got a fast, massive enroller and they're a super enroller and they're, off the track, they're a headed crystal director, get them on a call with somebody that's done that. Okay. So you match the people together. So you don't get them on a call with somebody that's not enrolling. You don't get them on a call that somebody hasn't taken that path. So find those like-minded people and fake it till you make it, right? I mean, I faked it in the beginning because I didn't know what to say, so I was listening and absorbing these calls. And the other person that had amazing verbiage in my life was Cindy Hedges. And she had a tasting every week. And so I would go, whether I had people to go take or not. I just would learn more, and just be around it. I'd hear it. So really, it's just being we're a broken record. I just have verbiage from people that have done it right, that have built the business. What is it? You don't take advice from broke people. Take advice from people that have actually done it and actually are doing it. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to post that in our Fast Track group, both of those calls. I think they'll really help you out with attacking a fresh list. You'll find more names to put on after you listen to this Kathy Savage call, I guarantee it. And don't be afraid to grab, listen to three-way etiquette call on doing three-way calls, and don't be afraid to reach out, sideline, cross line, up line, down line, to people to do three-way calls. So that's it for tonight, Jess, unless you want to throw anything else in.
I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome. Guys, I'm so glad. Chris is right. 26 days can change your life. Why not you? Why not now? We can make a decision tonight. That's what it takes. You make one decision. And so I think that the homework, Chris outlined it. He gave us the steps for what your homework is. Step out of your comfort zone and make the next 26 days. What are your goals? If you are, the two things that I'll tell you, someone told me that this post meant a lot to them. I posted the other day about commitment. So some people know that we became foster parents. So we have a little boy. And when you take something that seriously, we asked our kids to commit. I can't stand when people tell me I'll try or I hope. I don't like when I hear myself say those things. Mm-hmm. If I really want it, if I really believe it, if I want it to happen, when you commit to something, it's literally a foreshadowing of victory. And that's what you're going to do tonight. If you're, like Chris said, if you have 2 feet in the game, in the 90-day game plan right now, I don't care what happened the other 66 days. If you have 2 feet in right now and you're committed, you say, I'm committed to this. Follow with your goal. Commit. That's the difference between being committed and interested. And guess what? The people who feel the commitment are the people who will soar. But there's an enormous difference between being committed and trying and hoping. Because I'm sorry to be the bearer of the one to tell you, trying and hoping at the end of 26 days, you will be dramatically disappointed in what happens. If you commit, you will be thrilled. What will excite you is if you commit and then you figure out a way to make it happen. Because anything can happen when you commit. Speak it into being. You declare it and you foreshadow victory. So that's what the homework is. Decide, are you in? Are you out? Are you committed or aren't you? And that's okay. But you have 26 days to prove it. Guys, let's finish up the way we always finish up. Are you ready? Come off mute. You don't have to come off. Just so everybody can come off. Awesome. All right. Are we off? I'm going to put on gallery view so we can all hear you. Very good. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
we can.
we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, I can.
I like that.
Yes, I can. Yes.